All right about now, I feel like I'm gonna make a sentimental journey.
Welcome to my sentimental decluttering journey. These 3 bins, plus there's one more in the closet, contain my life. At one point I had 10 of them, but I've been pretty good about whittling it down, and in the last few years I went from 10 to 7, 7 to 5. Last year I went from 5 to 4, and I feel pretty good that I can really get rid of a lot of this stuff, and my goal is to get it down to 2 bins. So my bins are actually pretty well organized. I mean, I go through them every couple of years. I'm going to start with this one that has my mementos going back to elementary school through college, journals, art projects, and some family things. This is a portrait I had taken to give my mom for Mother's Day. I decided to declutter the frame and found this, which I had completely forgotten about. Apparently it wasn't ready in time, so I drew this, put it in the frame, gave it to her, and she kept it in there when I gave her the photo. I mean, how do you get rid of stuff like this? This was my grandmother's phone book. And not only did she keep phone numbers in there, but she also kept a record of their birthdays, anniversaries, the day they died. I've held on to this a long time. I am going to get rid of this. This was from when my grandfather died. I did tear out the pages that people signed, but there was just no reason to hold on to the whole book. Now this one I'm definitely feeling guilt about. My grandmother was a crossing guard, and she was awarded this certificate. And there's some group photos of her and the other crossing guards, some artwork from my nieces, and again, I'm feeling some pangs of guilt. So let's get serious. Surely there's no reason for me to hold on to all these cards.
I am serious. No, don't call me Sean.
Our mascot at the Rock KCLB was a Rockadile, and a listener made this for me. I'm going to see if I can donate it to the world-famous Crochet Museum in Joshua Tree. Growing up, I was very close to one of my mom's first cousins. She was really artistic and crafty and even built a dollhouse on a coffee table for me to play with when I visited her. When she died, I asked for a small piece of artwork to remember her by and was given this tray. Not exactly what I had in mind. I will never forget my cousin Jansen, so I'm okay with donating this to a thrift store. And this is an outline of my niece Ashley at 6 years old. My head tells me to throw it away, but my heart says no. This time, when going through my mementos, I made a concerted effort to get rid of everything that had negative energy attached to it. Report cards, for instance. It did not spark joy to see me go from a glowing kindergarten report card like this, lots of S's and O's throughout elementary school, until I got to 6th grade, where I discovered that the class clown is popular, and my study skills were never quite the same after that. Even my college report cards bummed me out. I loved college. I graduated with honors and lifelong friends, but there are a lot of dropped classes, and this is embarrassing. I got an F in Intro to Rock Music because I didn't even bother to drop the class. I just stopped going. The other bins contain sentimental items from my jobs, like the Palm Springs Follies and 4 different radio stations. And vacation mementos. Being a scrapbooker, I was one of those people who saved every piece of ephemera. I've taken 4 big trips over the last 20 years, and it's just ridiculous some of the stuff I was holding on to. Like this popcorn bucket. I mean, come on. And this Qantas pouch. I'm never going to use the sleeping mask and toothbrush. It did come with socks though, and those I am keeping. My last trip was a cruise to Alaska. I'm finally getting rid of these daily itineraries, but I am keeping my karaoke medal. I am a horrible singer, but just picked the right song and won that baby, and I am proud of it. I'm also keeping this souvenir, a selfie of Adrian Zmed singing to me. I found a few more things that I could really let go. I mean, here's a certificate from a dig I did in Israel. It doesn't even have my name on it. I've got postcards from England and Italy and Israel and Greece. Don't need those anymore. Here's the London Theatre Guide from July 20th through August 2nd, 1998. Spoon that was given to me for free when I was in Lucerne, Switzerland. And the plastic shopping bag from Saturday Night Fever that I saw in London. And this whole notebook is filled with souvenirs and mementos from my 3-week trip to Australia. I mean, I know for sure I want to keep my ticket. I saw Hugh Jackman, The Boy from Oz, and I've got 4 of my 5 in excess tickets, so I saw them that many times. And I've got to hold on to these because I actually was interviewed for this one, and we're referred to, my friends Claire and I, fans from as far away as California and London made the trip to Coranda for the gig. So yeah, these are fun memories, so I'm definitely going to hold on to these. But I think pretty much everything else in this notebook I'm going to be able to purge. This last bin contained concert, theater, and film festival mementos. This, I believe, is the first program I ever collected, Peter Frampton, and the start of me having a hard time getting rid of programs. And this probably is the second one. I went to Beatlemania with a group from high school, Paul McCartney concert in the 90s, and the Rose Parade. Whew, that's a lot of programs. So all of these I'm going to take to the recycling, and these four I'm either going to try to sell or I'll ask if any of my friends want them. So about a year ago, I did a really big purge of my film festival items, but I still have a few things here I can get rid of. Some badges, a couple of promo items that I thought were clever, and a FilmX program. This was pretty cool. FilmX was actually my first film festival. I didn't know anything about film festivals at the time. I strictly was going because what else? They were showing a Tim Curry movie. So I said I was going to get rid of everything that has negative energy. And this, though it was amazing to meet Peter Max, this is not me and this is not my friend. They sent us the wrong photo. And I've held on to it all these years hoping that someday I might meet these ladies, and who knows, maybe they've got my photo and we can swap. But I mean, what are the chances that they would also be pack rats and have held on to the photo all these years? I really should let this go. So another one of my favorite artists is Chris Isaak, and I did have a few of his items in my bin. It used to be that he'd come out after all his concerts, he'd go to the merch table and he'd sign stuff. So that's where some of this is from. Like I brought these 2 singles that he signed, so I'm going to hold on to those. This is the first time I met him. I'm with the record company and got to go backstage, and he is so gorgeous, so of course we're holding on to that. These are some promotional items. I'm actually going to try to sell these on eBay. They are in mint condition. This is one of the concerts I went to, so maybe I'll put them up as a set. Now this is pretty cool. My sister's friend got this in the early 80s. It's a set list. It was not a show I was at, but she was doing probably some decluttering of her own, and she thought of me, and I thought that was really sweet of her. So I'm going to go ahead and hold on to this.
Gonna take a sentimental journey. Gonna set this on party.
These are my journals. I've never been a regular journal keeper, but when I'm going through stressful times and during vacations, from one extreme to the other, I do like to keep a record of what's going on. There were a couple of years in the 80s when I kept a diary of what I did every day, and those are actually kind of fun to look back on. But I made the mistake of reading this journal, and I'm not going to lie, I was crying all afternoon. It takes me through a painful breakup with the first love of my life during a time when I was having serious health issues, all the while trying to establish my radio career. I tend to be the type of person who remembers the good stuff, not the bad, and reading this reminded me of things I never want to be reminded of again. So because of that, I decided not to even open these other journals. Now this is the only book I'm keeping. It's mostly drawings and bad poetry and just a little bit of journaling. It took the whole month, but I made it through all 4 bins. This was a bit of a roller coaster ride. There was some tears, but there also was a ton of laughter. These 2 are the bins that are going back in the closet. And this baby is empty. Here's the giveaway and sell pile. This bin is filled with trash and recycling. Okay, now let's get real. This notebook had been set aside from the other journals, and thinking it was just a food diary, I started looking through it. There was some heavy stuff inside, and then against my better judgment, I ended up reading this journal too. And now I seriously need some therapy.
Gonna make the sentimental journey to renew old memories.
This is my therapy. And now I don't ever have to worry about going down that rabbit hole again. I want to thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos, please hit that subscribe button.